All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating ancient text called the宗Lu. We're going to use it to tackle a huge question, one that people have been wrestling with forever. And it's a big one. It's about the very nature of reality itself.
So here's the question that kicks everything off. In a world where everything is always shifting, what, if anything, is actually permanent? I mean, think about your own life. It's this nonstop river of thoughts, feelings, and everything happening around you, right? It's never the same for 2 moments in a row. So is there something solid beneath all that change? The Zongjing Lu gives us a really powerful lens to look at this.
So how do we even begin to answer that? Well, the text doesn't give us a complicated formula. Instead, it gives us a beautiful, simple metaphor. And honestly, this one image is the key to understanding this whole philosophy. It's all about water and waves.
Okay, let's build this picture in our minds. Just imagine a massive ocean, stretching out as far as you can see in every direction. And in its natural state, it's totally calm. Perfectly still, clear, not a sound. That's where we start. Now, this incredibly calm ocean, that's the metaphor for what the text calls our true mind, or you could say our original nature. The idea here is that deep down, at our very core, our consciousness is just like that water, fundamentally pure, whole, and completely still.
But, oceans don't stay perfectly calm forever, do they? A wind starts to pick up. And this wind isn't just wind. It represents, everything. It's the endless stream of causes and conditions in our lives. Every thought we have, every choice we make, every person we meet. And all of this wind starts to stir up the surface of that peaceful water.
And what happens when wind hits water? You get waves. Thousands, millions of them. These waves, in the language of the text, are the myriad dharmas. That's just a way of saying all the changing stuff we experience. Your career, your friends, the good days, the bad days, all of it. They're all just waves on the surface.
Okay, so now that we have this image, let's use it to unpack a couple of big philosophical ideas. This is where it gets really interesting, where this simple picture of water and waves totally changes how you might see the world.
And this leads us to the most important question of all. When you see a wave, is it a separate thing from the water, or is it just the water itself taking on a temporary shape? How you answer that, that changes everything.
The first big idea is called dependent origination. It sounds complex, but the metaphor makes it simple. A wave doesn't just pop into existence out of thin air, right? It depends on the water being there, and it depends on the wind blowing. It's the same with our lives. Every single thing that happens, good or bad, comes from this huge interconnected web of causes and conditions. Nothing just happens on its own.
And that leads us right to the next idea, which is even deeper. No self-nature. Think about it. Because a wave totally depends on the water and the wind, it doesn't have its own independent, permanent identity. You can't just, grab a wave, take it out of the ocean, and set it on your desk. It's impossible. Its entire being is just the water moving. It has no separate, lasting waveness to it.
This little chart here really breaks it down nicely. See, the waves, all the stuff in our lives, they arise from conditions. They're always changing, and they have no independent existence. But the water, that true mind, it's always there. Its essence never changes. It's the permanent foundation for all the temporary chaos that happens on the surface.
All right. The text doesn't just leave us with the ocean metaphor. It gives us a great little story to hammer this point home. And this time, it's not about water. It's about our own identity and how we change over time. So, the story is super simple. A guy leaves his hometown when he's young and full of life. He goes out, lives his whole life, and then comes back many, many years later as an old man with white hair. An old neighbor who remembers him from way back sees him and asks this really simple but kind of profound question. He looks at this old guy and says, "Hey, is the man from back then still here?"
And the Brahmin's answer is just brilliant. He says, "I am like the man of the past, but I am not the man of the past." Wow. I mean, with one sentence, he gets at both things. Yeah, there's a continuity, but also, he's a completely different person.
So the young man was like a wave that appeared and then disappeared back into the ocean. The old man is a totally new wave, one that's happening right now. The text is saying that the past wave doesn't travel through time to become the present wave. Nope. Each moment is its own unique expression that rises and falls.
Okay, let's tie this all together. We've got the ocean and the waves, and we've got the story of the Brahmin.
Let's see how they connect, because this is where it all clicks into place.
It's pretty clear, right? That two-mind we talked about, that's the constant, unchanging water. And all the stuff of life, the illusory dharmas, those are the waves always changing. The Brahmin's life was just one wave after another, the youth wave, the middle age wave, the old age wave. The waves themselves were completely different, but the water, the essence of his being, that was the one constant thing through it all.
So what? I mean, this is an ancient philosophy. Why does any of this matter to us, right here, right now? What's the point of looking at the world this way?
Well, it really boils down to one incredibly powerful idea. It's all one thing. The waves and the water. They aren't two separate entities. The changing stuff on the surface and the permanent essence underneath are actually one and the same.
And what that means for you is that the waves in your own life, the amazing highs, the really tough lows, every win, every loss, none of that is actually separate from who you are at your core. They're just expressions of your fundamental nature. It's just the water of your being, in motion.
And really getting that, really understanding it, can bring this incredible sense of peace. Because if you identify with the whole ocean, you're not so easily freaked out by any one wave, no matter how big and scary it seems. It gives you this kind of deep, unshakable stability to ride out any storm that life throws at you.
But this whole idea leaves us with a really provocative final question to chew on. If all the waves of life, the good ones and the bad ones, are all just expressions of this one big, unchanging ocean, then what is suffering? What are the afflictions of the world? If it's all just water moving, what does it even mean to be hurt by a wave?